Hi, this is Mete Bulutay from codingmac.com, and in this part of our video series, I'm going to talk about reasons that will make you to move your solutions to the cloud. So let's have a look at the previous videos. In the part one of the video series, I talked about some simplified cloud concepts such as infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. And I made a comparison of the service providers, some of the cloud service providers. In the part two, I talked about the platform as a service solutions, and we had a quick tour of my Office 365 tenant. And now we are in the part 3, which is the reasons for moving to the cloud. So, when should we use a cloud solution? The first one may be a low budget company. Maybe some of those worked in a company like that. Let's explain it. For example, you start a company, someone start running a company and want to have a SharePoint solution in that. But for doing that, first you need to make an investment. For example, you have to buy a server, some software licenses, etc. You have to make an investment of some few thousands of dollars for just running a SharePoint solution. And but with a cloud solution, in the later examples, you will see it's much easier. For development, I think most of you guys who are a developer like me have the same issue. For example, when I look for getting a laptop for myself, I first start from the ones with 32 gigs of RAM and with a i7 processor. And which is a heavy laptop to consider. But it's a good alternative to have for example, a light laptop with 5 gigs of RAM, a small and light laptop, and use services from the cloud. For example, rent a remote desktop in the cloud and develop your solutions there. Actually, if you have an MSDN subscriber account, you have some free credits each month to use in Azure, and this also applies for test environments, because for testing you need to acquire an environment in a fast way, and you in some cases you have to have multiple farms. You have to set up them in a fast way, and this requires some investment to do. Oops, sorry. For making highly available internet sites, also cloud solutions is a good alternative, because each website has to be highly available for not losing its visitors. You have to have very small amount of downtime, and also internet sites should better have mirrors in different geographical locations, like one in Europe, one in the United States, etc. So cloud solutions is a good alternative to run highly available internet sites which are built on SharePoint solutions. And another example is an internet-facing portal. You may have an on-premises environment in your local area network, and you may need to expose it to external users from the internet. In such a situation, you may not want to expose your current network to the internet, and we will see an example to that in the future slides. And the last one is a disaster recovery solution, which needs very important amount of investment, and we will see an example of that also. So actually, there's no company like Coding Mac Inc. But imagine there's a company. Actually, I worked in a company like that, which has 15 employees in it, and which makes software development and consultancy as its main business, and which has six of its people, of its developer and consultant people working in customer side. So you need to have a collaboration portal which must be accessible from the internet, and you can use it for document exchange, for tracking task statuses in projects, etc. And for doing that, uh, let's first take the on-premises approach. You need to buy some server hardware. It should at least have a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM, and you need to have Windows Server and SQL Server licenses. You need to acquire some upstream bandwidth for serving to the internet, and you need to have a SharePoint license if you are using SharePoint Server, or you can use the free SharePoint Foundation. So even with Microsoft partnership, it will acquire you the licenses for free. You still have to pay for the server hardware, and it will cost some few thousands of dollars. And its alternative is using Office 365 tenant, and you can use a variety of features that I told you about in the previous part. And you can also develop some custom solutions with the app model. And how much does it cost? It has actually two price models for SharePoint Online rentals. First one is $4 each user, and the second one is $8 each user. So let's take $4 for 15 people. It makes $60 per month. So it's very less expensive than the on-premises alternative, and you don't need to make a investment at first for a low budget company like that. You just need to rent a tenant from the Office 365 environment for each user, and you can enlarge it when you have new employees. So another example can be a pre-sales case. I'm experiencing the same situation in a tender actually. Just suppose you are preparing for a tender, which you will need a SharePoint replication product, and it will be wise to install it first in a demo environment, and make a POC study for it to see whether it works or not, or whether it serves to your purposes or not. Uh, for doing that, your managers will first think of acquiring some server hardware which you will not use later, or you will hardly use, and you need to acquire some VMs in that, etc. You will certainly need some IT support, or you can just use the cloud and set up a test network in the cloud, in a cloud service provider, and you can just create farms in that test network in the cloud One of them can be in the United States, the second farm in Europe, and the third farm in Asia. Uh, you may not produce an environment of low bandwidth in this network. I'm not sure about that, but for sure you can produce a high latency environment, so it will serve the purpose of testing the SharePoint replication product. So you deploy the replication product on that network, test it, and when you're done, just delete it, and you are no longer charged. So this is very less expensive than the on-premises alternative. Another example is having external users for an on-premises farm. At first, you have your farm, which serves to your internal users in your local network. You have your domain controller, Active Directory. You have your SharePoint farm, which has search, business connectivity, and other services in it. And you need to provide access to external users, which should be connecting through the internet. In some companies, in some environments, you may not want to expose your local network to the internet. So, what can be a better approach? You can use a cloud service. It can be either Office 365 tenant, or you can set up a SharePoint 2013 environment in Windows Azure. And you can just direct your external users to that environment which is on the internet. And the good part is you can synchronize your Active Directories. Also, you can make your on-premises content available for the search on the internet, and you can also make the vice versa. And also you can make your business connectivity services connections in the on-premises environment, and you can do the vice versa. So this is a good example for a hybrid solution. And finally, our final example is a disaster recovery scenario. Typically, when you would like to set up an environment like that, you should set up a data center which is geographically in another place of the earth, and which is very much expensive to do. So mostly companies would prefer not doing that kind of a solution, and mostly they give up for disaster recovery solutions. But there's an alternative in the cloud. You can set up an environment in the cloud and replicate your content to there for the disaster recovery. And in the next slide, I will show you it will be very much less expensive than the data center option. So there are three models in the Azure environment. I get this from a paper that Microsoft has released. The first one is the hut model. In this model, you set up a fully sized farm. You set up the farm in Azure environment in the same size with your existing farm, and you run it, and you leave it in the running state. So this is cheaper than the data center option. But this is the most expensive solution among the data recovery models in Azure. So there's an option which is called a warm model. In this model, you have a smaller version of your farm, and in case of a disaster, you provision additional servers for meeting with the performance requirements, and you leave this smaller version in the running state, and this is considerably cheaper than the hot model. And the last model is the cold model. You build your farm, but you just stop your VMs, so you are no longer charged, and you just turn them on for patching and updating your farm. So this is the cheapest option, and I would prefer an option like that. And I think most of companies that are interested in a disaster recovery model can choose whether the cold or warm option. So this is all for now. Please visit codingmac.com for other videos and links and resources. See you in the next part of our videos. Bye bye.